Alright boys, we're back, and now my voice I guess is a bit more clear even though it's not, but deal with it. Okay. So we made the gun and you should have something like this. Okay, so you should have something like this. Now forget the yellow thing, but whatever your gun model is, you probably have a better one, but anyways, you see the color is gold just like was in. The position, it's not too high on the screen, not too low. The scale is not too big, all of that stuff. And we're gonna get to how making this noise when I hit left click. Let's get to it. Okay, now we're back. Now since we've made the gun, now let's implicate in the enemies, alright? So you see here, we have a bunch of functions, and also something I forgot to mention, in order to even run anything, dude, you have to write in the app equals your scene and two parentheses. Do not forget this, or else there will be no app. And in order to run the app, you have to do app.run at the end. Okay, so as I was saying, let us get back to making the enemies. So you want to make a couple of enemies, you can make 2, 3, even a billion, how many of you want. For sure, I don't know, a billion. Anyway, so in order to make something, you need to learn something called class orientation, or OBJ, I think. It was something in Python, but it's called a class. It's really complicated, but I recommend that you should check out what it is on Python before we dug into this. So make a class, call it whatever you want, wasp, I don't know, whatever you want, spider, zombie, whatever you want, and you have to put in button, right? Now you're gonna make a function and initiate the self. So it has positions, an X and the Y and the Z and the self. And then you're gonna run in the super function and initiate it, and then you're gonna begin putting in properties for the class that you just made. So the parent will equal the scene, the module. If you have some sort of module already imported and you have it, put it in. I personally have one just called wasp, and the scale, just like we said, since it's not an object, it's an entity. You just type in the size of it, don't make it too big, too small, the position, the X and the Y and the Z. Now you actually don't write it in, and I'll explain why later. Your rotation, basically, just like we said, that it's gonna have a rotation of 90 degrees on the Y level, and the collider is a box if you bump into it. And then you're gonna go down here a bit, and I'll explain why we didn't put in a position for it. So say you want in 6 wasps, alright? You're gonna say that wasp is gonna be an empty list, none times the number. So there's gonna be 6. Then we're gonna want to modify it. You're gonna say for I in range, basically the number of the wasps. And you're gonna put in the position of it. You're gonna say that the WX, basically the X level of it. And here's what we needed the random module for. The uniform. The uniform basically puts in completely random positions, right? So in this case, on the X, the wasps can spawn on either -12 or -7 on the X level, and on 0.1 or 1.8 on the Y level, on 0.8 or 3.8 on the Z level. And then you're gonna have to write this in, or else no wasps are gonna spawn. Same thing goes for the spiders, which we made. Now I personally don't have any textures or stuff because this program is completely new. So you're kind of writing the same thing, the module. You can make it smaller or bigger. You can basically modify it just as how many as you want, anything. And you're gonna go ahead and write in the same thing, but you're gonna have to say that it's also an empty list times the number, so you actually have 6 signature spiders, and it's in the same loop. Alright, for I in range. You're gonna just write in the same thing, same positions, or basically whatever you want, and make sure to also write this in so it actually runs, so spiders actually spawn. Make sure to write this at the end of the program, or else the program is not gonna run. Okay, so now we're in. Let's revise quickly. Sky, first person controller, the gun, the ground, the walls, and forget these guys, I'll tell you at the end. So here you have the wasps, and I have a pretty weird looking module, don't question it. See, if I try to bump into it, you have a bunch of them now. They are kind of inside this wall since I messed around. There are a bunch of other walls. And here you can see the spiders. They're really small, but since the module I made is really weird, you won't even be able to see them. But they're there, they're there. I will teach you how you can shoot them, and you can see the hover over them. Teach you that in a second. So as I said, I don't know if I said this before, but if you want to write any functions or any if statements or all of that, you have to write it for the app equals your CNUT, because that's where you can modify the main statements of the program, right? So here we have the classes and the modules that we import in, and now here's how you do it. So in your CNUT, this is why I love your CNUT. It just has many basic and common stuff implemented it. So we're gonna make a function for the key. It's an input function, it's a key function. You're gonna go and indent it. You're gonna write an if statement. The if the key that is held down, left mouse down. Don't worry, this is actually true. We're gonna make it an audio, and personally I have an audio on my folder. It's called gun.mp3. If you have one, put it in. And if you have an animation, I'll show you how to do it, but later, I guess, another video. Now we're gonna say that for each wasps in the wasp list that we made, if the wasp is hovered, if you have your crosshair hovered over the wasps and you left click because it's the same if statement over here, boom, the wasp is going to be destroyed, just like you saw. Same thing goes for the spider, and it's an all one function. And boys, that is how you make a 3D sketchy off sandbox game. Now here's other things that you might have not noticed. I actually, you see this was a failed project. I tried to make in some blocks. Kind of failed because there are some errors, and I'll fix it later. I'll show you how. I made a function update, and what this is same sort of the input function, but it's different. I basically said that the player's exposition will increase if the keys that were held was the V, and it would increase by 1 pixel and 1 block. If I keep holding it, it will just keep happening. And I also made one for the Y position. It will increase if I held down the C. It will go by 0.3 pixels, 0.3 blocks basically. And I also make something funny here. If you try to escape the map, you'll just be stuck in the middle. Instead of the player's Y position is less than -10. That where the player's Y position will be back to where it was over here, -0.05. And other than that, you can modify yourself, bro. Oh yeah, and the rocks, the bees that you saw, they were literally, I just named them. I didn't know what to name them. And you can modify them all yourself. This is how you make a sketchy off thing. And here are the final results. So at the end of this video, I hope you guys really learned how to make, I hope this can be an inspiring move for anyone out there who's trying to make 3D games or something. Personally, I started out like this, and I'm developing myself. Here are the beans and the capsules that I make. See, if you try to jump over it, it's a box, just like I told you. You can parkour me. And here's the V, just like I told you. We can pass through onto anything. It's really fast. Here's the C. I can make a Mario game with this. Here are all the walls that I implemented in. The color I painted myself, and the spiders, you can shoot them. This is the spiders. And that's about it. I really hope you guys enjoyed this, and thank you all for the support in the last video once again. And if you're a Muslim, happy Ramadan. See you guys later. Peace.